Is this you? All the combos in the world, every time you dribble it's mixtape worthy, deep bag, shifty, but then in a game you fail to generate good looks? That's because none of that is real basketball. It only exists at the high school level or below. When you get to the college level, every action has to be quick, precise, and direct. So I want to talk about Sean Pedulla, one of my favorite players to watch over the past 3 years, and here's why. He's 6 feet tall, 195 pounds, and he's not someone that's gonna dunk on you. I scoured the entire internet trying to find one clip of him dunking, but I couldn't find one. But despite those physical limitations, he's someone that's averaged 15 points or more for 3 straight years, and he wasn't just a reliable bucket getter, but someone who you could depend on when your team needed a bucket. So what can you learn from Sean Pedulla to help you not only become a better scorer, but a better basketball player? Well, let's get into the film. And the first thing I want to talk about from Pedulla's game is his defense, because it's that important to be a good defender in college basketball. Being one of the smallest players in the SEC, Pedulla would get regularly tried in the post until teams found out that that wasn't a good option. The first thing that made him such a good post defender for his size was that he was always able to stand his ground and not get pushed around by bigger players. And even getting a big man 1 to 2 inches off of his spot could make the world of difference, because now he's a little farther out than he's used to while practicing, and that also allows the help to get there a little bit quicker. The next thing that impressed me from Pedulla was his anticipation. When the big man would catch it on the block, somehow Pedulla already knew where the big man would be going and he would be able to disrupt the play. Add on to the fact that he had lightning quick hands, and I can assure you he was not someone that was fun to go against. Not only was he good at guarding the post, but he was also an extremely solid perimeter defender. And I credit a lot of his perimeter defensive ability to his anticipation skills, because that played the biggest difference. Like I said earlier, Pedulla wasn't some freak athlete and he didn't have the best lateral quickness, so he would get beat off the dribble from time to time. So in order to combat that lack of lateral quickness, he would have to beat the offensive player to the spot and then wall up. Take this play for example. As the Oklahoma player turns the corner, he has a step on Pedulla. Now if Pedulla were to meet him right here, it would either be a bump and a foul or a blow by, but instead Pedulla knows where he wants to go and beats him to the spot to contest the layup. He's just really good at keeping players on one side of the court and anticipating that crossback or snatchback dribble where he's then able to get a hand on the ball and rip it free. But now let's get into the offense, and when I tell you his game is so simple and it is the epitome of less is more. The first part of his offensive game is his shooting. He's an absolutely lights out shooter and will pull it if a hand is not there. He shot 39% last season and his release is super quick. This shooting ability opens up his entire game. If defenders could afford to give him a little space, that would not make him an effective scorer. But defenders don't just respect Pedulla as a shooter, they fear him. And this fear helps Pedulla with the next step of his game, as he has an absolutely lethal pump fake. And after the pump fake, he gets to his spot. He's not wasting any steps, any time, any dribbles. He's not pump faking, snatching back, hezzy, tween, do whatever. It's pump fake, get to the spot. And if he doesn't want to drive off the pump fake, he's shooting it right after. Pump fake, let this goofball fly by me, and let's get into the same shot. The next part of his game also benefits from him having a knockdown shot, and that's his ability to win closeouts. Because Pedulla knows that the defense has to have some urgency when closing out to him, he can use that to his advantage. And I think the most underrated ability in all of college basketball that a lot of high school kids don't know is how to play off of both feet off the catch. I didn't have this ability that good when I was in high school. I always wanted to rip through right and use my right foot as the lead step. But Pedulla has that ability to play off of both hands and both feet off the catch, which opens up the entire court for him. And the next thing that makes him so good is what he does after he blows by his defender. It's the angles that he takes to the rim and to his spots. He never directly gets to his spot, but more so he gets into his defender while getting to the spot. This physicality not only makes him harder to guard, but makes him draw more fouls, as when he feels that physicality back from the defender, that's when he goes up for a shot or a layup and gets the call. And it's how he changes his stance mid-drive that makes him really hard to guard. He'll drop his shoulder and his top half, making him a much wider figure, so it's harder for the defender to cut him off without initiating contact. Because he's already so small in the college basketball world, when he decides to get even smaller and even lower to the ground, a 6'6" defender has a hard time staying in front of that. Something that he does that I think every small guard has to have is the ability to love contact. If there wasn't contact created on these drives, these big athletic college athletes would be sending these shots to the 5th row. But not just the contact, when it comes, throws the defender off his rhythm, allowing Pedulla to get good looks at the rim. And you'll hear me repeatedly say this, but he's not trying to do anything extra on the finish. He just wants to show the ball in one spot and deceive the defender, and then finish the ball on the other side of the rim. Now, I don't want to get the narrative twisted that he never dribbles the ball, because he was their point guard, shooting guard, secondary ball handler, primary ball handler this year. I really don't know what to call him, but he did have ball handling responsibilities. Everything was still with a purpose. He wasn't doing it just to look cool. Take this possession for example. He tries going to work the first time, but he loses the ball, so he gives it up immediately, not pressing the issue. Then when he gets it back, it's a simple blow by right to the rim. And I didn't even get into how he reads the pick and roll, because I wanted to focus more on his natural scoring ability. And if you're a young hooper, I want to ask you the question, why not you? If he can do it, or if Peyton Pritchard can do it, or if other small guards that aren't dominating athletically can do it, why can't you? I think we forgot as a sport how good it is to just be super simple. There's no reason to be practicing 9 dribble moves off a catch when in a game you're getting 2, maybe 3 dribbles. So I hope you enjoyed this mini breakdown on Pedulla and how it's possible to score as an undersized guard while not having to do too much. If you made it this far, I love you, you are the GOAT, you're the reason I'm doing this, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.